HannaTalk.
What's going on, everybody? Simon here. Welcome back to HannaTalk. Hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic. And yes, I'm not wearing something pop culture related for a change. This is for, in fact, a band in Melbourne, Australia here called Doc Halibut, which features really good friends of mine. Highly recommend checking those guys out, but that's completely unrelated to this video because today's video is going to be all about the God of War live action show from Amazon Prime because we just got some really big casting news. But before we do, though, I thought I'd like to start off with something unrelated to this video because we just got the news about this is that Catherine O'Hara from the Home Alone movies has passed away. Obviously, you'll remember Catherine O'Hara as Kate McCallister from the original Macaulay Culkin Home Alone movies, the first two movies, Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. But she's also done a lot of work with Tim Burton, whether it's been from the Beetlejuice movies to Nightmare Before Christmas. So I thought I'd just like to mention that at the start of the video as a little bit of a tribute to her. There have already been a lot of tributes from people that have worked with her in the past, whether it's been Pedro Pascal on The Last of Us, because she was on The Last of Us season two, and of course tributes from Macaulay Culkin, but not only because of them working together, but also because of their close friendship with each other. It was absolutely beautiful tribute from everyone involved, from whether it's been from Chris Columbus to, of course, as I said, Macaulay Culkin and stuff. So rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. You are gone, but you will never be forgotten. We will see you again one day. And let me know in the comments below, guys, what were your memories of Catherine O'Hara, whether it was from meeting her at a convention somewhere or meeting her anywhere in the world, or even from any of the films or projects that she's worked on, whether it's been from Home Alone, from The Last of Us, any type of project at all. My memories of Catherine O'Hara came, of course, from the Home Alone movies, and then I rediscovered her from particularly from the Elemental movie, which I know that was a bit of a divisive film. I don't understand why. I personally thought the film was fantastic, and then of course, discovered which she was going to be in The Last of Us season two at the same time that Macaulay Culkin was announced for the Fallout series. So talk about two Home Alone actors in two separate video game properties. So it was fantastic. So so I would encourage everybody to watch all of her work that was outside of the Home Alone movies. She was a fantastic actress in general, and I'm expecting them as well to do a special tribute to Catherine O'Hara, not just in The Last of Us season three, because we are getting a season three at some stage down the track. Whether that's going to happen next year, I don't know, but I'm expecting them to do as well tributes to Catherine O'Hara in a lot of the other works that she was involved in recent years. Let's get right into the God of War stuff. So just to actually start off with a little bit of history into the God of War games, this isn't going to be a full-on history video, but the God of War games started back in 2005, effectively ranging from 2005 to 2015, from creator David Jaffe and Sony's Santa Monica Studios, with taking a little bit of inspiration from the 1981 Clash of the Titans movie and from the Gladiator film with Russell Crowe for the aesthetic and especially the look, not just for the entire series, but also in Kratos' design, with T.C. Carson as the main voice of Kratos. He is fantastic. You might remember him from the series Living Single, but also as Mace Windu from a lot of the Star Wars media that was outside of the live action movies, particularly Star Wars The Clone Wars. And and the series of games that came around from that era, which was known as the Greek mythology saga, or or however you decide to think about it, was God of War 1, God of War 2, Betrayal, Chain of Olympus, God of War 3, Ghost of Sparta, and Ascension, and of course included the collection, or Origins collection, the God of War saga, and of course remastered version of God of War 3 when it eventually came to the PS4. So that's the Greek mythology side of the God of War games. Now going into the second part of the God of War history is the Norse mythology, which started back in 2018 with director Corey Barlog, who was also a long-time director for the original God of War games, which started actually from not from the actually from the first God of War game in 2018, but actually from God of War: A Call from the Wilds, which was a text-based game released through Facebook Messenger. Let me know in the comments below if you actually had a chance to play that. I never got the chance to experience that because I didn't know about the God of War games, the Norse games existing at that stage. I only knew about the original ones at that time, which is how I first discovered God of War at that time. And then And then, of course, went into God of War 1 or God of War, however you want to think about it, that same year with Christopher Judge playing Kratos in the role. Fantastic actor. You might remember Christopher Judge for his work as a longtime voice actor, but for any Stargate fans, you'll remember him from the Stargate series, which, interesting bit of trivia, we're going to be getting a full-on Stargate series at some point down the track under Amazon Prime. I'll post a link in the description below from Emergency Awesome that goes deeper into all this sort of stuff. And the God of War Norse games were meant to be set many years after the events of God of War 3, doing a very father and son type of story with Kratos and his son Atreus at the forefront of the helm, and then later in 2022 went into God of War Ragnarok. So as you can hear from the God of War Norse side of things, it was meant to focus entirely on like Norse mythology. That included characters like Thor, Odin, Loki, Sif, and included a lot of the concepts from Norse mythology, such as Ragnarok, hence the title of the game, God of War Ragnarok. And just to be clear, it's gone up, and I know everyone's thinking about like Thor from the Marvel comics. Nope, nothing to do with any of that. This is based on Norse mythology. So that's a little bit of the history into the God of War games. If you want to check out on some stuff that goes deeper into the history across all the years from the God of War series, there are some links in the description below for each of the documentaries that came along with the release of all those games, including Unearthing the Legend and Game Directors. And the other documentary is Raising Kratos. I highly recommend watching all those documentaries if you want to get a bit deeper into the history of God of War and the development of the games as a whole. Now, next big thing that everyone is wondering about, this God of War TV show, is this the first time they're adapting the series? Were they doing other adaptations? Well, as a matter of fact, yes. So let's take a look into each of the different adaptations that almost happened before we got this God of War series. So as I said before, there have been many different adaptations from the God of War series. The first one in particular was back in 2005, which was a film that was supposed to be written by David Seff, who also wrote on The Wolfman, Road to Perdition, and The Haunting, cut to around 2012 under the exact same movie as well, or leading to a different sort of adaptation, which was supposed to be written by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, that also wrote on a few of the Saw movies. So you have to imagine like God of War, like in the style of like the Saw films, or like very like for anybody out there who's ever watched any of the Saw movies, you know exactly how crazy it can get. And that actually would have been awesome to see because for anybody out there who played the original God of War games, they go really, really hard in terms of the violence. I only played just a little bit of the first game when I rediscovered it about 6 years ago during the lockdown and stuff, and it goes hard. The Norse ones definitely go hard as well, but the original ones, they were known for their violence. So that would have been epic to see that actually. And then cut to around 2018 where we got the Norse mythology games in the God of War series, we were supposed to get an adaptation by Stephen Denied, who many people remember from Pacific Rim Uprising, Spartacus, but most notably for any Marvel comic book fans, for the first season of Daredevil, from the Netflix series. That would have been epic to see something like that, but unfortunately that never ended up coming to pass. Then cut to 2022 when they announced the God of War series under Amazon Prime going full steam ahead and originally was supposed to be under Mark Fergus and Hawk Otsby, who were known for their work on The Expanse. I've heard of the series, but I haven't actually seen it myself, and from Judkins from the series The Wheel of Time. So that sounds like it would have been a really interesting idea, actually. I'm not familiar with the Wheel of Time series, but I have heard of The Expanse, as I said. So who knows how that would have worked as a series under those three. But then they eventually left the project when the studio wanted to take it in a different direction, and that's when they went to Ronald D. Moore, whose most notable work was from Star Trek, from The Next Generation to Deep Space Nine to the 2004 edition of Battlestar Galactica, and also he worked on the series Outlander, and a couple of years back did For All Mankind. So a really solid person at the helm right there. He's got a really amazing track record. I have seen episodes from the Next Gen and Deep Space Nine. I haven't seen Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, but I do plan to watch it at some stage. But based on the Star Trek stuff, it's a really, really solid pick. I'm really, really excited for where they're going with this. And of course, they're meant to be basing this on the Norse mythology games. So on the whole father and son aspect of the series, but on the whole Norse mythology stuff in general. So really, really amazing during that. But I'll get into talking a little bit about what I'm really hoping they get to do in the series as well. Next big question is the casting. Who have they officially cast as Kratos for the series and for the other characters in the show? So obviously just this year they made the announcement that Ryan Hurst is playing Kratos in the series. You might remember the actor from Sons of Anarchy, Walking Dead, Remember the Titans, and actually is a really big connection to the God of War games in playing Thor in God of War Ragnarok. So a bit of an Easter egg and a bit of a full circle moment at the same time. So that's pretty amazing to see. I haven't seen too much of Ryan Hurst's work. I not from any of the stuff I've mentioned though, but I have heard of all those shows though, and the film Remember the Titans, of course. But he's a fantastic actor, and he definitely looks the part of Kratos. They could easily pull off like the whole aesthetic of the whole father and son story that they're going for in the God of War series, obviously using the Norse mythology as the aesthetic for the show, but he could easily pull off the whole Greek mythology side of Kratos from the original games and stuff if they ever decide to adapt any of that stuff in the series at some stage. Really hoping they do though. But on the whole with Ryan Hurst, he is going to crush it as Kratos. Next big casting they confirmed is Australian actress Teresa Palmer. So when I heard about this, I was like, oh, represent. And she's playing Phoebe, aka Sif, in the series. She was best known for her work in films such as Wolf Creek, which was an Australian movie, the film Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling, which was a fantastic movie, by the way. The other works included Hacksaw Ridge, 237, and Clearing. So I can't wait to see her play Phoebe or Sif, however you want to think about her in the series. She's going to be fantastic. Next big casting they've confirmed is Olafur Olafsson as Thor. You might remember him from the series Severance. I haven't seen season two yet. I've seen season one. Like, it was fantastic. I cannot wait to see season two. But he's also known for works such as The Children, The Deep, and he's also voiced characters in the Icelandic dubs of Lilo and Stitch, Ice Age, Brother Bear, and Kung Fu Panda. Next big casting, and actually a really big surprise on this one, was Mandy Patinkin as Odin. You might remember him from The Princess Bride as Inigo Montoya. Rest in peace to Rob Reiner. But you also will remember the actor from Homeland, the TV series Homeland, the film Wonder, and a whole range of films. He's got a really big career. He's a fantastic actor, just in general. So he definitely is going to crush it as Odin during this. Next big casting they confirmed is Max Parker as Heimdall. You might remember him from the series Boots, Vampire Academy, and from the series Emmerdale. I'm not really that familiar with his work, but I have gotten the chance to see what Heimdall looks in the context of the games and Max Parker, and he really looks the part. So as I said, I haven't seen any of his work, so I'm not really familiar with him. But based on the way he looks, it looks like he's going to absolutely crush it during this. But let me know in the comments below if you've watched any of his work and how you think he's going to fare as Heimdall in this. Next big castings they confirmed is Alistair Duncan reprising his role as Mimir from the games. He was also known from game series such as Metal Gear Rising, as well as the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games as Kellen Brimbor. You Anyone that's ever played any of those two games, I played Shadow of Mordor. I've played a little bit of Shadow of War. They're both fantastic, absolutely amazing games. If you're a fan of Tolkien or like the whole Lord of the Rings type of mythology, you're absolutely going to love these games. They are fantastic. He was fantastic during the first God of War game with Christopher Judge as Kratos. I just to actually mention that as I said, I played a little bit of the first God of War game back in the early 2000s, and but my first full playing experience with the God of War games really came from the Christopher Judge era, from the Norse mythology era. It was fantastic. I've yet to play God of War Ragnarok though, but I will get to that at some stage though. But I'm really excited to see Alistair Duncan come back as Mimir. He is fantastic. Next big casting they confirmed is Danny Woodburn as Blacksmith Brock. You might remember him from Seinfeld, Flintstones, and Viva Rock Vegas, which is how I discovered him as an actor. The TV show Charmed, another one I watched back in the Day where I saw him in, and also from the series iCarly from one of the Christmas episodes back in the day. He's a fantastic actor, and I'm really happy to see him back in acting in a really big way like this. He is going to be amazing. And the other big casting they confirmed is Jeff Golka as Brock's brother Sindri, who you might remember from the series Stargate, and of course from The X-Files. He's a fantastic actor just in general, so have no doubt he's going to absolutely be fantastic in this. Now, next big thing that everyone is wondering, and I think it's pretty obvious from the casting, what story are they going to be doing for the first season of this series? They're obviously going to be basing this a lot on the God of War games in Norse mythology, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to pull from the original games, either in terms of flashbacks or maybe potentially in terms of individual episodes and stuff, just to bring board on a lot of the original fans, but also help get people that have never played the God of War games. And I'm really hoping they get Christopher Judge and TC Carson to come back into the series and make Stanley cameos in the series. That would be amazing. And just to also mention about all the ridiculous articles claiming that Christopher Judge is angry at the casting of Ryan Hurst's Kratos. There was a video posted from Fan Expo where Christopher Judge gave off his full praise to Ryan Hurst and his full on support to Ryan Hurst as Kratos. You have to remember that they have acted together during the God of War games, so of course he would know him pretty well and stuff. And as he said, I'm really excited to see what he's going to do next and to see him play Kratos. But as I said before, I'm really hoping they get Christopher Judge and TC Carson, not only just them, but also all the other actors from the God of War games across all the different iterations to make cameos in the series. That would be awesome. So here's my question out there for everyone watching. Let me know in the comments below. What are you hoping to see in the God of War series? How excited are you for this? And what video game adaptations are you looking forward to coming in the next few years? I'm really looking forward to Fallout Season 2 and The Last of Us Season 3, and particularly this God of War series. It's going to be fantastic. Based on all the announcements they've made so far, it's going to be amazing. They haven't confirmed any of the other cast members, like who is Atreus, and like whether they're going to do season two, season three. I'm still waiting for actual news for that to drop on all that front, and also for the first trailer to drop. And when the episodes all drop, I will get into a full-on review video for the entire series. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. So that's it on that bit. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Don't forget to comment below on what was your first experience with the God of War series, and what video game adaptations do you want to see in the future? And don't forget to check out the links below in the description for the documentaries and for the other stuff I put down below as well. And don't forget to check out the links to my channel as well. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Simon, signing off. Bye for now.